Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I have a big one for you guys regarding an incoming update on the 29th of October. So only 2 days from today, what we're talking about here will be entering the game. We're going to be talking about new familiar skills, new essences, balance changes, changes inside of PvP and Battlegrounds, Bout of Realms, new cosmetics, and legendary blessings, giving us a better chance at legendary item drops, which is going to be absolutely necessary and exciting. Let's get into all the details right now. Now, being that these patch notes were sent to me a little bit early and are 17 pages long, some of the things inside of here we will go through a little bit more quickly to save you your time. First of all, as I mentioned, this is going to be dropping on the 29th of October. Bout of Realms has returned. We've talked about this on the channel before. You could prepare for it now. As you see, November 5th through November 9th is the time for you to form a party of up to 8 players from within your server. Notice that is highlighted right there. These have to be people in your server. Registration is going to be ending on the 9th of October. Then we have our timeline. The preliminaries are going on from November 10th through November 14th. The times are shown right here. Keep in mind, guys, even if you are the most competitive person and pay to win and you have the strongest account, or someone that's free to play that just wants to do it for fun, there are great rewards to be had throughout these events for all players, whether you win the big top spot or just are participating throughout the event. It's definitely worth participating in. Then we have the elimination rounds, which are going to go from November 11th through the 24th, where 64 teams across servers compete for the top 4 spots in a best of 3 elimination match. And then we have our timelines right there. Then the finals are going to be taking place from November 22nd through November 23rd, where those top teams compete. Then we have a round 2 cross-regional Bout of Realms, which is definitely new to the Bout of Realms overall. As you can see, we have qualifying teams from the Asia Pacific divisions and then from the Europe North American divisions. The invitations are going to be from the 24th of November through the 30th. If you've pre-qualified, you'll receive an invitation to participate. This is going to take place as a double round robin from November 1st through November 8th. You'll face off against each other's teams in your division twice, earning points for each win. As you can see, we've discussed it before. 3 points for a win, 1 for a loss, 0 for a forfeit. The grand finale is taking place on December 9th, where the 2 teams with the most points from the previous round will face off in a best of 5 grudge match to determine the final champion of each division. Here are some updates to the Bout of Realms from maybe the last time around. New spectator mode for elimination rounds and finals. You'll now be able to spectate elimination and rounds from the Bout of Realms event hub in-game. Top 4 prediction system. All players can predict 1st through 4th place team at the start of the elimination phase. Correct predictions will be rewarded at the end of the competition. So a little bit of gambling in there. I like it. And the new team management features. Teams can now be shared in chat channels to invite other players. A team chat channel has been added to facilitate communication amongst team members. You'll also be able to quickly filter teams based on resonance, number of members, and more. And then they go through all of the rewards. We have first place all the way down to the lower. I'm not going to go through all the rewards right here because there's a lot to go through inside of this video, but you can see as we go through all of those. So the Bout of Realms is going to be a lot of fun, even better this time around. But now let's talk about next the new familiar skills, or amalgamations, they're calling them. Your familiars have been on your side through your eternal fight against the forces in the burning hells, and through your combined trials, something miraculous is occurring. More than an ability to support you through the most harrowing onslaughts. They are evolving, and as you can see, our skitterite right here looks a little bit different. Let's talk a little bit more about what these amalgamated familiars are. When undergoing conversion, your aberrant familiars have a chance to take on new subspecies. Familiars that undergo this transformation will inherit a new legendary trait called an amalgamation, and their active skills will be enhanced. All amalgamated familiars will gain more powerful, new active skills, and 2+ legendary skills. Now, how do we get these new familiars? And are we going to be trashing our old familiars to get these? You have a chance to obtain the amalgam familiar through an aberrant conversion. It's a rare chance, but fate just may smile upon you. So we are again heavily being relying on RNG here. Adding a conversion stone to the conversion will increase the chances of receiving subspecies familiar if you do not use the subspecies familiar in the conversion. Additionally, if you manage to get an amalgamized familiar and use it in the conversion, you'll guarantee that the converted familiar will be the same species as the algam familiar, or one of the algam familiars if you use multiple. So what's going on here is we're able to get these stronger familiars with the amalgamism skills, but it seems to be throwing a little bit of a wrench in the ease of utilizing and converting familiars. Since familiars have been dropped inside of the game, they've been clunky and heavily relating to or heavily relying on RNG. It looks like this is another RNG element added into it and potentially even getting a little bit more clunky again. Now, they do go into some of the skills and things, and as you can see, we got a, oh, that's a skitterite. You can see that the overview, the flame amalgam spewed ichor now combusts, leaving a field of flame to scorch enemies. So as you can see, there's another skill on top of those. And we have all of the skills for our familiars listed right here. So for an example, because I don't want to go through all of them, we'll go with the, we'll go with the Valrog. Thunderous Algam, normal active skill, targets an enemy dealing 38% of character damage for 0.5 seconds to enemies within 2 meters for 3 seconds, cooldowns 20 seconds. Now, the Algam active skill, this is different from the normal, targets an enemy dealing lightning damage every 0.5 seconds and conducting up to 3 enemies. Cooldown is 12 seconds. I'll slowly go through these so you can take a look at all of them. Pause if you want for the familiar that you're either currently rocking or one that you're trying to get yourself into. We're going to have to see and test these out to see if it's really worth the time to invest into really upping your familiar to the next level. From reading these right now, they don't seem like they are crazy stronger, except for you can see the cooldowns are different on all of them as well. We're getting less of a cooldown. So obviously there's going to be an improvement with the familiar, but is it enough of an improvement? So here's two of people's favorites right here, the Ash Sweeper and the Dusk Prowler. The normal Ash Sweeper skill, which is what I currently use, normal active skill triggers a rain of stone on enemies within a 4-meter range in front, dealing 150% character damage and marking an enemy. Marked enemies damage reduced 24% for 3 seconds, and the cooldown is 20 seconds. Now, if we take a look at the Amalgam skill, rains down a gem shower on enemies within a 4-meter range in front and inflicts a weaken effect, and the cooldown is still 20 seconds. The Dusk Prowler or the Frost Algam, norm of active skill, receive a layer of spirit. So it looks like these are actually two skills from, so you have the Algam and you have the Ash Sweeper, the Dusk Prowler and the Frost Algam. This right here, 20-second cooldown, 20-second cooldown on both. This is not something that we Diablo creators and part of the Diablo program were explained to yet in detail outside of what we're reading here in the patch notes. Plus, we weren't able to test these out, unfortunately. So we're going to have to test it out live and see, give our opinions if it's something that's worth doing after we get our hands on it. But for now, at least we have the details right here. Now we have some of the events that are going to be dropping back inside of the game. You'll have until November 12th local server time to barrel your way through the returning events. So basically, a lot of these have already happened, potentially. Yeah, we have October 22nd, Conqueror is going on till the 29th. Fractured Plane, the 29th through the 5th of November. Wild Brawl, the 5th through the 11th. You get all of these types of rewards. I like to see legendary items, Telluric Pearls. What else do we have here? Legendary Gems. All right, no problem with any of that. Now we have the Eternal Embrace Phantom Market. I talked about in a previous video how these kind of looked like two of the characters from Raid Shadow Legends, and it was actually brought up from a comment of someone, and it actually is quite true. What we're looking at right here is a Crusader, and this is a, what is this right here? What is that? The Druid. And I believe we have the Tempest over here. Yes, that's a Tempest down there. So it's a pretty cool, like you're basically this ghost, this dead character, which as you guys know, I really do like. This Phantom Market looks quite promising to me. With that said, it still is going to hold the $170 price tag. It will be cross-class and come with a bunch of other cosmetics as well, but it's definitely not a $5 cosmetic like you can get from the Battle Pass. And of course, this wouldn't be patch notes or a big update without new legendary items, or we're talking about new essences for all of our characters. So in the effort to save all of you a little time, I'll go through each one individually, pausing so you could also pause the video and take a look at the essence changes, or the new essences, I should say, for the particular class that you're interested in. Starting with the Wizard right here, which is the class I'm currently playing. Then we have the Barbarian, the Blood Knight, the Crusader, the Demon Hunter, the Druid, the Monk, the Necromancer, and the Tempest. Those are all of the new essences. Hopefully you took the time to read through the ones that were important enough for you. Now, of course, we do have balance changes as well to all of these classes, or at least most of them. I'm going to go through these actually individually throughout this video right now. So for the Demon Hunter, Nimble Rival, Daring Swing, animation speeds increased by 29%. So it's just going to look a little bit quicker. The Druid, Raven Swarm, the number of ravens conjured via attacks no longer has an internal cooldown per attack. Instead, you can conjure 3 ravens per skill and 1 raven for primary attack. But you'll be limited to conjuring up to 7 ravens per second. The blind effect has been removed. Then we have the Mangle Werebear. If one of the attacks in the Mangle sequence hits, you now gain a 60% damage reduction for the remainder of the attack sequence. We have Crush from Werebear. You now gain control and knockback immunity for 2 seconds when you activate Crush. All right. Next up, we have the Monk. Cyclone Strike damage is increased by 24%. Baseline Inner Sanctuary added a new effect where standing in your Inner Sanctuary reduces critical hit damage taken by 10%, stacking per second you remain in the area up to 40%. We have the Necromancer, 10 Thorn Corpse Lance. Lances now apply stacking marks that cause the enemy to take an additional 100% base damage upon reaching 3 stacks. We have 2 more. The Tempest, Rolling Surf, primary attack animation speed is now 28% faster, and 2 for the Wizard, Searing Judgment, Disintegrate, damage is increased by 20%. And Ice Crystal baseline, Refracted Beam damage is increased by 21%. Are they trying to bring the Ice Crystal Disintegrate meta back for the Wizard? Now, I did mention legendary item blessings. This is giving us the ability to get more legendary items, or really to get more essences unlocked or better pieces of gear. Let's read through it because I think this is important to a lot of players. In the effort to make it easier to earn legendary items, you'll now have 1 hour daily blessing where you'll be able to activate your item drops, essences, or items from other classes. You can activate or pause the blessing at will throughout the week using your hour precisely when you want. Once activated, the blessing affects all legendary item drops from monsters. Items that drop from chests, limited time events, or non-combat rewards are not affected. So unfortunately, this is not going to be something that drops out of when you turn in bounties, when you turn in monstrous essence. If you take down a big boss and you get rewards from the chest, you're only going to get it from monster drops, so actually killing those monsters. We have 3 blessings that you can select. A rarity blessing grants a higher chance to drop higher tier legendary items. An essence blessing increases the chance to drop items with legendary affixes that you don't currently have. And class blessing, chance to drop legendary items from other classes, helping you gain items to prepare for future class swaps. I like that you could select these. I personally would not be doing the class blessing, and most likely, unless if the essences are ones that I'm trying to unlock that I need for a build, I'd probably be going for rarity blessing to try and give me those stronger pieces of gear if I'm trying to upgrade, as we essentially have the essence we need, but we want the stronger gear. Unfortunately, this is only going to happen from, this is other non-combat rewards. We're not going to get it unless if we're actually in combat with a monster. So that's going to greatly negate the number of these that are going to actually be impacted, or at least the number of legendary pieces of gear that'll be impacted from this legendary blessing. Now let's get into some updates that we mentioned regarding Battlegrounds, and this is a boundary protection. To prevent players from using certain skills to escape the map or enter enemy spawn areas, we've added a new boundary protection system. A whole new system, huh? If you enter an enemy spawn area or move into an out-of-bounds zone, you'll be pulled back into the nearest location and lose 55% of your maximum health. If you cross into one of these zones twice, you'll die and respawn at your base. Wow. Post-matchmaking survey. To better understand what your feelings are on Battlegrounds, we'll include a post-match survey for Battlegrounds. You'll be able to rate how the match went, which will help for future improvements towards balancing and matchmaking. Now, I do know that Blizzard was in talks with some big Battlegrounds people. A lot of feedback was being given regarding changes that they felt needed to come to the game, and I'm wondering if this is one that was mentioned in those conversations. Now, Blessed Rain changes. If you use a server transfer while a Blessed Rain is active, you'll need to wait until the next Blessed Rain to earn progress toward the Shadow Cloak. Okay? And notification changes. They've rearranged the categorization of some notifications between what can be marked as read in the batch function tab versus 1x1 tab. So just could either put it in one tab or the other. Not a big deal. Then they have Blessed Hunter event updates. This is to get that blessed green gear. The Blessed Hunter event is being extended until December 17th, and we've increased the rate at which players will find blessed items in dungeons. They seem to be making it easier for us, or at least trying to make it easier for us to get these green items, which is definitely a positive thing. So what's your guys' favorite part of this update? Is the new legendary skills, or we should call them amalgamated skills for familiars? Is it the Phantom Market cosmetics that are going to be dropping that I think are cool? Maybe some of the new legendary items for your class. I feel like you guys may like that one. Legendary item blessings, or maybe even some of the updates that we talked about regarding Battlegrounds. Either way, all of these are going to be dropping on the 29th this week in just a few days. Get yourselves ready, guys. Prepare for the update. Hope you guys enjoy the video. See you in the next one. Make sure you let me know in the comments which of the changes is your favorite. Have a great day, guys.